Hey Deborah, how are you doing?
Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Doing great.
It's good to see you. I love the palm trees in the back.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm not feeling a whole lot of, of beachy today.
Well, I
Mhm.
appreciate you taking the time so that we could just talk about, being a mom and motherhood. And, the neat thing about us, I was thinking that you knew me before I even had children, which was really cool. And,
Yeah.
when we talk about raising kids and having families, everybody that is around you has an influence. So definitely, I know you as a mom and raising your sons definitely has made an impact on me for sure. And so I wanted to talk about that today for sure. You have three boys, you have an all male household,
Yeah.
and that is unique in itself. And one of the things that I respect about you is that you never lost like your I guess like your womanhood and raising all your sons. And I think that is really cool. You never lost yourself in that. So if we can just talk a little bit about raising boys um, and all of that, that would be great. And it's just, just a comfortable setting, but anything you want to share, because that's really amazing that you were able to raise your son. So
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I would say, start off with saying, thanks for inviting me to your platform today.
sure.
And as for me as a motherhood mother, um, it, starts out with me having a wonderful, family tree and those experience that I experienced growing up from my grandmother, my mom, and then my aunts and my village, I would say, in the community. And just all of those um, memories and influences that I had. I always knew that I would be a strong, great mom. And I sort of somewhat did carry all of those experiences into with raising my sons and with their upbringing. And my husband, Kelly Daniels, um, we come from two different coasts, and then just seeing his and implementing those, connecting those experience, like to raise our sons and family, and then with him having some unexpected things in his childhood, not having his natural mom, raise him. And then also his strong military background with the strictness, and rules and respect. And we just like combined all of that. And then the challenges just came when we had to, move away and venture out. We had to move around because of his military background and not having it, but still staying grounded to keep and continue with those, our family,
Yeah.
experiences that we had to create for them in our home. And having three sons, I'll say it's been challenging. I thought I would always, would have a daughter, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And they are all, different. And it was
Yeah.
just a joy, having them seeing their own little, uh, their being individuals and allowing them to just experience and like blossom,
Yeah.
in their way until they upbringing. And then motherhood never stops, no matter how old they get. It's just like a continuous thing that you have and connection and being connected with them. And it's fulfilling, uh,
There's
has been fulfilling too.
two things that you shared. One that I definitely want to really bring home and celebrate you on. One is you mentioned your husband Kelly, and you guys have been married how many years now?
It will be, it's 39 years.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
39.
So yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, which is amazing in itself. 39 years. Oh my God. Because I was thinking I knew 30, but man, you're about to hit 40 years. That's amazing.
Yes.
So I know, like you said, that's a huge part of it. And that's beautiful, especially right now and where we're at in this world with marriage and all of that. So you had that as well, which you mentioned, and then also your the ages of your sons, because now, I mean, you definitely have, as you're talking about, they're always going to be in your life. How old are they now as well?
Dante, the oldest, he is 39.
Wow.
Brandon, 37, and Carnell, he's 35.
Wow. So, man, when we talk about having some definite wisdom and tips and successes in all fronts, then, you know, what are some things that kind of helped you along the way, that guided you through some of the different challenges that you had in raising, you know, teenage boys, toddler boys? What are some things that stand out?
Yeah, exactly. I would say we sort of kind of would complain when we got older, how strict my parents were, but we had a strong Christian, background as well.
Mm-hmm.
And our influence, through church and belief and, in prayer and having a family, I would say that I know my parents, they always, would pray strongly, for us. And although we weren't like there when our jobs took us away from being in the same areas, I still just carried that faith with me. And then just having great, wonderful friends. And I'll say you, Fanon, and your family, have other families here, although, you all are like family here. Mm-hmm. So it's always a challenge, especially when they're trying to branch out and go in their own ways, but you still try to have that bond with them so that they can stay on track. And I always preached pretty much where no matter sometimes things we don't have control of, but still just let them know, they're still like a representation like of us. And so we are too when we're out doing things too.
That's good.
So.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you talk about faith and prayer and then discipline and structure. So that those are definitely things to have in place. And I can imagine that, especially having teenagers, and then as they go into adulthood, all of that becomes really important. I love that. And then I just, anybody in a village, which you talk about as well. And one of the things that, I want to go back to this because a lot of times, a lot of moms, especially, and because I have a boy and a girl, but you definitely hear about moms that have all boys and a boy household. How is it that were you from looking at from the outside in, I feel like you never lost yourself, that you always maintained true to yourself. You always took care of yourself. And I think that is really wonderful. How did you do that? What kept you balanced into being able to maintain true to yourself and who you are?
Yes, it goes back to, I would say, like how my parents, and I have an aunt, my Aunt Elizabeth, she raised 3 sons herself. And just seeing her, just having that strict, being a single mom, and she still had that village as well. But just seeing her not to, like lose yourself.
Right.
And, finding that time and just, just keeping it real with them. And when they see their mom, and as my husband would always say, happy wife, happy life. So you sort of kind of, like if he knew I was having a bad day as well, he would say, hey, don't leave mom alone today, or something like that. But overall, it's just still, you have to take time out for yourself and not, like to get out and adventure and experience other women and how they, come along and how they made it through, we thought it was tough, but then it's possibly was even tougher for other people. Yeah. But having them, and we always would have like sit down talks with them, other than like trying to choose the right discipline, like for them, and trying to do the different things from the way that my parents would do for them. But, just trying to do a little bit different with them in their bringing as well.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I think you have definitely shared some great knowledge and wisdom today. I love that you talked about faith, and I love that you talked about prayer and discipline. And then as a mom, taking time for yourself and then connecting with other women. So I love that. This has been really, really good. It's always a joy and a pleasure to have the opportunity to talk with you. And yeah, so it has been a pleasure. I appreciate it. I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, for your time. And the whole platform and what this is about is hoping that we are able to have an outreach to women that, especially right now with COVID and us trying to get back into norm, we aren't being able to get out and connect as much as we have been in the past. So I'm hoping that anybody that is listening or watching, that they find that this is helpful and that they find a blessing as well.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, Deborah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's been wonderful.
Thanks for